at Mr. RTM, man, on Twitter. You're tuned in, Rock the Mic News. Hot topic, Phoneaviews. I got on the phone right now one of the dopest battle rappers, man, period, in our opinion. We're in here in the DMV area. I got my man Av on the phone. Av, what up, baby?
We're so ready, but the Big K situation, man, it's a lot of he said, she said things, and, I haven't spoken with K personally, but I support what he's doing. He holding VA down, he representing it, and he doing this thing right, so, nothing negative is going to come from me here with it, if it's some other things that need to be talked about, us being men, everybody can sit down and talk. But for the most part, for me, man, I just want to keep doing this thing, man, and we'll be there soon. Believe me, I know I will. You know what I'm saying? So. And
I definitely, while you're there, man, I definitely want to big y'all up, man, because I sat down with the staff, man, and we just compiled a list of the 10 best VA moments, man, and we just surfed the blog, man, and both of you guys got a moment this year. You know what I mean? What you and John, what we about to talk about, and just him, Big K, in 1 year getting on the proving ground and then actually being on the card, in the same year, you know what I'm saying, was big as well. Right. So while we on the John, let's talk about John the Don, man. How did you prepare for that, and then how did you feel when he took the L on 106, I think the week before?
Okay. When shout out.
Hold on, let me say this before you go in. You were smart because you didn't even mention that. It's like you knew he was gonna say that. You're gonna say.
I did. I did. But shout out to Showtime and Doug Fresh. They put me on with the Seven City Sharp League. They gave me the opportunity.
Sharp League. Shout out. Big ups.
It came about me. They asked me. I just did a battle with Squeako. Shout out to my homie Squeako. You know what I'm saying? Dopest dude from Chesapeake. G-Town all day, hands down. You know what I'm saying? I just did a battle with him, and it came across me. They was like, "Yo, you trying to battle John?" So I'm like, "Yeah, I'm with it." So long story short, it's go time. I'm ready to clock in. I'm doing my work. And when I seen the 106 in Park, I was at my brother's house, so we watching it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to sleep on that. I can't sleep on that because, respect the UT and 106 in Park, but that ain't the caliber dude that he is because I've seen him work, you know what I'm saying? I was a fan. I'm a fan of John. So bringing the whole 106 in Park up would have been too predictable. And if you watch the battle, John, that's how he started off. Okay, I lost 106 in Park.
He went in with that just so you couldn't use it. Right.
So, so the thing about the John battle, we were supposed to go 3 rounds. See, everybody don't know that. We were supposed to go 3 rounds. And, a little while before the battle happened, something happened. I'm going to just say something in quotation marks. And it only was we can only do 1 round, 5 minutes. And we were supposed to do 3 rounds, 2 minutes a round, which was 6 minutes. But it changed to 1 round, 5 minutes. I was like, whatever, it's a shot. The location we were supposed to be at, he didn't get there on time. So you have all these people. It was a crazy, confusing night. But Showtime and Doug Fresh, they did what they had to do to make sure the show still went on. And when it was time to go, I'm not gonna hold no excuses, make no excuses. John did what he did. You know what I'm saying? He a URL dude. But I had to do what I had to do, and everybody was like, oh, it was a joke, it was a joke. It wasn't even like that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. How you feel about that? A lot of people, tried to say, I had to watch it twice to actually, find the spot they was talking about, because it was like, yo, he choked, and then some people were like, nah, Av ain't choked, man. You know what I mean? So, what's your response to that?
If it is what it is. If that's what it is a joke. I had 20 seconds left. I thought it was over with, because I know how I formatted my, for how I formatted my round, trying to put things together with the change to the 1 round. So I'm thinking it was done with, you know what I'm saying? But when they say, oh, you got 20 more seconds. So I just started remembering something I had from another round and just, start using that.
You were prepared for 2 minutes. What was it? Three
rounds.
Minutes,
3 rounds, 2 minutes a round.
3 rounds, 2 minutes. Right. So you basically had to compile some of round 1 with round 2
and round 3.
Exactly. Gotcha. Now let me ask you something. I always wondered this, and you know, shout out to Squeakle, man. I remember watching the Squeakle battle. You know what I'm saying? And then you know how you know they'll call it a choke, but how does the crowd affect some of the Squeakle battles? It's just me outside looking at watching the footage. I think some of the Squeakle battle was kind of the hypeness, you know, like oh my God, and then for you to have to, you already being in performance mode, and for you have to kind of, you know what I mean, start like how does that affect things? Because I don't think the people out there know that has an effect, and that's why they be trying to keep jokers quiet and let jokers go in, and then you kind of messes up the clock. And how you feel about that?
I mean, you know, I love the people, the support and everything, but sometimes it does get out of hand. It bothers us all. Me and the homie Roller was talking about that. Me and Squeako, we had that conversation. Like, it's just, you know, sometimes, you know, it does get overhyped, and it does take away from people actually listening to what's really being said, you know. Right. And it tends to throw you off sometimes, you know, it can, but that's just something that we got to work on in our craft, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not telling the people not to cheer for my bars, but, like, let me work, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, let me work, you know what I'm saying?
Because the John, I think a couple bars you threw out there got kind of out of control. Like, you know?
Like, for real, there was sometimes I seen, you know, it got out of hand, like the first couple of ones. But for them, like, the early bars was, sometimes it may got overhyped, but still he compared, man. Like, he was listening to what I was saying to this guy. Like, I was saying some serious, real, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you gave him some work. But
you
then, and then also we got to keep in mind. Right.
Like, for him to be a URL dude, I think I really tapped his chin, you know what I'm saying?
Man,
like,
look,
seriously, he tweeted me.
Listen, salute to you, man, because all my out of town viewers, man, and all my out of state associates, man, really enjoyed, you know what I'm saying, that battle and bigged you up, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people went your way. And I ain't just saying that because you would have went 3 rounds. You know what I mean? A lot of people. Yeah. But a lot of people was like, yo, I don't feel like, you know, John leaned in on them. Like, I feel like Av got him. You know what I'm saying? But before we get off this line, man, like, we don't want to hold the people long, man. People got low attention spans. You know what I mean? Before we get off this line, man, all right, man, let's just talk about the battle scene as a whole. How you feel about it, man? You know what I mean? Signing off, you know, we got 4 leagues. Presently, I think, to my knowledge, or a 5th, if we want to add the rec room, which Roller just started. You know what I'm saying? You know, what's your feelings? Because I see you a lot on there, man, and I see you pushing for unity, man, and I you know, I see a lot of talk, and I see a lot of positive talk, man, and I see you really trying to bring people together, man. So, you know, what's your whole feelings on it, man?
I mean, the whole thing with I say, we're trying to get the unity with the leagues, man. You know, it's time for us to get the proper light, you know what I'm saying, that we deserve. And if we can get everybody to get on the same page with each other, there's nothing they can tell us, you know what I'm saying? We definitely got the talent here. You know, shout out to, like I said, Blaze, V, Mal, Showtime, and Doug. You know, we're trying to put all the leagues together, man, because we have some of the dopest MCs around here. You know what I'm saying, period. And we just want to give everybody an opportunity to get the big light on them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely one that's forefronting, you know, the merge of putting all the leagues together, man. You know what I'm saying? I got some other people that's with me that feel the same way. And I'm just, you know, it's going to happen. You know, it's going to happen. It's funny you say that because we had a conversation tonight. I spoke with some of the guys, so we're going to be meeting soon. And you know, it's about to be some big things going on by this summer, man. It's gonna look crazy.
That's what's
up. It's gonna be crazy, man.
Well, Av, look, man, I appreciate you, man. everybody, man, logging online, man, you could go to dadpiff.com and get that Hustle Game Presents Something for the Winter Part 1. If you want to check Av out, you can go to 7 City Shark League YouTube if you want to check any of his battles out. Or just go to the Google, man, and just type in Adverse and get all his work. You know what I'm saying? At Shark City
I got some more work coming up too, Pete. I got some more work this year.
What you got coming up? Let them. My fault. What you got coming up? Let them know what you got coming up.
I got a battle with PG County dude, PG Skillet at the Pits. Shout out to Shaka Pits and the whole Pit Fights League.
Let the people know where that's at. The Pit is in where? B-More, right?
B-More, yeah, that's B-More.
Okay.
Then I got T-Top. He just had a crazy battle in the Ultimate Warrior League, the Arsenal League. That shout out to RBC, J Bang and them. Shout out to everybody down there in Carolina.
Okay.
You know, May. Supposed to be May. We supposed to be going down to Atlanta for the Spit That Heat. Shout out to the whole Spit That Heat fam. I got Scott Almighty. So I'm just trying to get my resume
real
up.
global, Av. I'm
trying
real
to, man.
global right now.
I'm gonna do what I do for Norfolk, man. For the whole big. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Norfolk
busy.
City, man. Stand up, Shark.
You know
That's
what
it is, man. Well, look, Av, man, we appreciate you having, man. And you know what I'm saying? Everybody listening, man, please log on to rockthemicnews.com. Stay tuned, because everywhere he at, we gonna promote it. You know what I mean?
Yes,
so we out, man. Av, salute you, bro.
All right. Same to you, All right.
Well.